This episode is brought to you by the Ultimate Girls Trip. Here is our reoccurring daydream. Us at a drool-worthy pool, surrounded by our business besties. We just finished a powerful exercise on building our dream lives and executing our business goals. Join us if you are ready to be celebrated for taking up space, to feel purposeful, and to live a life of fulfillment. Go to proofitspossible.com for more info. Welcome to Proof It's Possible. Jamie and I are multifaceted entrepreneurs, the founders of the Ultimate Girls Trip, and the hosts of Proof It's Possible. Jamie and I are also sisters, best friends, and complete opposites, but somehow we always manage to stay on the same team. Join us every week to hear our thoughts on all things entrepreneurship, friendship, family, pop culture, and more. Welcome back, and today we are doing the most fun thing. We have never really done this fully. We have a crossover episode with Keith and Glory from the We're Not Sorry podcast. So today we have Glory Jewitt and Keith Madge here, as well as Jamie and I. And so we are going to jump into all things pop culture, fun, entrepreneurship, what we're all working on, all the good things. So how are you guys?
Really good.
We're doing
so
great.
Excited to do our first podcast collab. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I think so.
Collab. Yeah. Awesome.
That's way cooler than crossover.
Crossover. I like that better. And I couldn't be more excited to do it with you two, who we've known for 20 years, I would think, like early 2000s.
Has it been 20 years? My gosh. Oh my God.
Yeah, I would say maybe even longer.
It's been a long time.
Maybe even longer.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's so fun. Maybe we should tell everybody how we know each other.
Right.
I don't remember much from 20 years ago, so someone else take this over.
I remember like it was yesterday meeting Keith, and we were at an aesthetic like wine and cheese night and of a friend and mutual friend, and we went out to this thing, and I'd never met Keith before, and he basically like came up to me, and I think you had just came out of like getting a little, Botox or some little fluff up, and you were like, I've never done this before, it's so fun. And so anyways, but then you said to me, no, you had done it before, but you were loving it. That's what it was. So you were getting your top up, and you explained to me that you were a teacher. And I want to say you said you were teaching grade 4. Like, that's how much I remember. And you said to one of the kids, like, sit down and read your book. And the kid, like, just smiled at you. Oh. And you were like, what is the matter with this little brat?
And I remember this kid, Evan, but it was the first time I got Botox, and I do silent reading after lunch to chill them out and stuff. And I'm trying to give this kid the look, like the teacher look, like, because it's quiet and everybody's reading, but I forgot my forehead didn't move, so I'm looking at him like this, like, read your book, trying to frown, and he just looks at me like this.
They can't see you on radio. He was waving,
and he just waved, and I'm like, oh yeah, my face doesn't move. Evan, read your book.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, can we talk about the first time Keith ever got that? I was there to witness it, and the amount of screams and cries and oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
I'm the worst.
Just go with it. It was, I wish I had that on video.
Don't we all wish it was as potent as that first time where your full forehead was fully frozen? Like, I don't know the last time that happened to me.
And Jamie and Glory are both in the health and safety.
I was going to say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that how you two met, or through Ray?
No, I think through our friend's sister.
I think it was through Maureen. It was just house parties. I'm pretty confident.
I think so, yeah, back in the day. And then I think we fell into safety maybe after. I think so. Yeah.
And like independently, like never worked in the same.
We never worked together.
No.
I think we reached out for like connections over the years, but you never. Jamie, we never worked. You never came and worked for me down south. What's going on?
Well, no. I mean, if the opportunity is still available, I am.
We'll talk after the show.
Turn the video off right now.
My question that I always love to ask sisters is, which Hadid would you be? Who's the Gigi? Who's the Bella? And if you don't kind of get that, like, Gigi's kind of more of like the cutesy, sweet one. Bella's got like a little more edge, kind of. Now, originally when I met you, I would have pitted the two opposite. As of now, like, kind of reading your books and listening to your podcast over a while, it switched for me. But how do you
Okay.
feel?
I would say Dale's certainly the sweeter of the two. Like she's the Bella for sure.
Or Gigi?
Gigi, sorry. And I'm way more like matter of fact, Capricorn energy. You know, like
Okay.
yeah.
That's what I would have thought, but now I kind of have it switched.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what the thing about me is I am very like, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm super nice until you like push me to my limit, and then there's no coming back.
Yeah.
So it takes me like, you pretty much have to do something like absolutely terrible. I have almost no enemies because I'm like, oh, whatever. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
You know, like no big deal. You're an idiot, whatever. But it's just like more internal.
Yeah.
And so I can like keep my cool way better than Jamie can. And like also Jamie has 3 wild children and has a whole life where she's like, you know, run ragged daily. So like I get her sleep. It's easy to be nice when you
Okay, I'll have to remember that. Good advice.
It's easy here's some business advice. It's easy to be nice when you're well rested. So.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny. Look at you both in health and safety, 3 kids each. You guys have a lot in common.
Yeah, and I run ragged, so I get you, Jamie. I feel you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, you guys look great.
Well, thanks.
Thanks. Okay.
So why don't we start with a little most likely game?
Okay, that's
Laura,
okay.
you've got some questions?
I do. I will pull them up right now. So this game, I feel like we just, and we can, I think we do it around. We'll do Jamie and Dale first, and then Keith, maybe you and I go.
Okay.
This is most likely. So who is most likely to do an Irish exit?
What is that?
Do you know what an Irish exit, for those listening, is when you sort of duck out of a party. Like you don't say goodbye. You're like, hey, it's 9 o'clock. I'm out. I've got to go home. And you like just kind of disappear.
Because saying bye, like,
you know, you got to, yeah.
I would say me, but I actually think it's Jamie.
Yeah.
Because she's just, once the kids are loaded or once the like she's done for the night, she's out of there. But I'm the kind of person that would feel bad. Like I would feel the guilt of like, I didn't even say thank you. I didn't, you know, like I should have said hello to everybody before I left, and I just kind of left. And like my husband would be the first person to be like, he like, as he's pushing me, because for the people that can't see me, I'm in a wheelchair, but I'm also, he'll be pushing me and he like almost like hits the back of my shoulder, like not hits it, but like hits it with his finger. And that's his like indicator, like stop talking, we're leaving.
Let's go. Yeah.
It's over.
But like, had you asked me in my 20s, I was not the girl leaving unannounced. I was the girl staying till the party was fully over.
Right.
That's what, unfortunately, Gloria and I too, we probably should Irish exit a couple hours early.
Yeah. I think either of us one would. I think we're both there till the end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You two who would do it.
I get that though, Dale. I'm kind of the same. Like I can't leave without saying goodbye or like thanking the host. I'm kind of that person, but
exactly.
I don't know. Keith,
well,
what do you
I'm
think?
not talking a dinner party. I'm talking like a big group setting. You know?
You eat the appetizer. You're like, that's shit. I'm out of here. I'm going to pretend I'm going to the bathroom and I'm leaving.
Okay.
It's a 4-person dinner.
Who out of us? I've got a few to get through.
Yeah.
Is it you or me?
You go ahead. Keep going, Glor.
Well, no. What do you think? Who's the most likely to do an Irish exit?
Oh, I think we answered. I think both of us stay to the bitter end until we're kicked out.
Neither. Irrelevant question for the two of you.
And next, okay. Who is the most likely to start with mimosas?
Oh, neither of us.
Yeah,
you guys both aren't. You both don't drink. Okay.
Well, I don't. I do drink, but I don't like the taste of drink, like a drink. So I only drink to actually get drunk. So I only do it every like 5 years, and I'm certainly not doing it at breakfast. Oh my god! If I'm doing that, I need to be like in Nashville.
We're on the wrong podcast.
Okay, well, I'm the same. I don't.
Yeah, he doesn't drink.
I don't. I just drink to get drunk, but not once every 5 years. Like probably once every 2 months or something. You know? Yeah.
I have like the occasional drink, but it would be like at dinner. I'm not a like early morning drinker. I would never have like a daytime drink ever.
And we had enough fun in our 20s.
I filled my boots for sure in my 20s.
What
Okay,
about you
moving
guys?
on. Well, for me, I enjoy a nice girls' brunch mimosa. I think it's probably me for sure. I'd say out of both Keith and I, but it's not like
Yeah.
that's an every morning I wake up and have a
Yeah.
mimosa.
No, but I mean, vacation. It's vacation when I'm there.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Okay, how about who's the most likely to plan everything? I think just knowing this 5-minute conversation, I think I know the answer, but go ahead.
I would say both of us are pretty intense planners, but
Okay.
when it comes to like podcast and stuff, that's 100% Dale. But when it comes to like Christmas stuff, it's me. Like we each play a role in different parts of our life,
Mhm.
and she does a lot of the like technical stuff. I do more of the fun stuff. I plan the fun stuff. She plans the like technical, boring
Like
stuff.
even in our girls trips, I plan like all the like masterminding that we're doing, or a lot of it, and I like make sure the paperwork's all organized because I'm like a good organizer and I have a lot.
Orders, the swag bags and does all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I swoop in and I'm like, these are the games we're going to play.
Right.
And this is the food we're going to eat because I like that. And that's what I want to have. Like, we each have our role and it's very distinct. And we don't ever talk about who's planning what, but we just do it.
And for our listeners that might not know about the Ultimate Girls Trip, we'll get into it a little bit more later. I know Glory wants to, but do you want to just give just kind of a brief little summary of it?
Sure. So the Ultimate Girls Trip is so fun. It is something that Jamie and I came up with after we started our podcast, that we had started to build this community of women writing us every week and listening to our podcast and joining us on social media. And so we were like, how can we take the like amazingness of this and put it in the real world? And so our podcast focuses on female entrepreneurs. And so basically what it is it is a 3-day retreat. So far, they've all been in Scottsdale, Arizona, but we are open to like doing new locations in the future. So
Atlanta should be in your future.
yeah, that'd be fun. So lots of ideas there. And we basically do mastermind activities. We have so much fun. Like Jamie said, we play games, we do all this stuff, but it's a chance to meet other women who are also wanting to like dream big, go after their dreams, do the big things, like do the stuff that nobody in their worlds are doing. So you find yourself the right community of ladies, and you have a much better chance of actually completing those things.
I love that. And how do people sign up, Dale and Jamie, while we're on the topic?
So we have a wait list. We only do a couple a year, and our next one is very soon. So if you go to proofitspossible.com, you'll see all the information there. And yeah.
Okay.
And have you ever thought about opening it up to like the ultimate girls, gays, theys, and anybody that slays trip?
We haven't, but I love it. So that is very
and thank you for the name.
Coined the name. I think he just coined the name.
Exactly.
Girls, gays, theys, and anybody that slays.
I like it.
We'll send you royalties.
Well, I'll have to be invited on that trip.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, like I've told you both, I'm absolutely going to attend one. It's right up my alley, right on brand for me. And I definitely will make it a point once I can make it work for my schedule to attend for sure. Once I can get on the wait list.
100%. We would love to have you.
Yeah, let's do a couple more, and then I think we get into the stories because I know we have a limited time.
Yeah.
Keith, you want to do a couple more, and then
The first one is who would be the one that would tell on each other as kids?
Dale. Yes, absolutely.
She kept all of her secrets because I'm not an asshole.
Yeah.
Really? And now, is it still the same? I mean, what would you tell on her for? But like,
I wouldn't tell on her. Jamie and I decided when we were like 11, 12, somewhere in there, that we were a team and we were against our parents. And like, we love our parents. We're very close to them, but we just started acting like as best friends instead of siblings at really quite young. Cause usually you can keep fighting later into your like teen years and stuff as sisters. And so we stopped telling on each other. But now Jamie's got an 11-year-old and she's got like a cell phone and she's wanting independence. And so I'm the one that's like, I put tracking software on the cell phone. And Jamie's like, she's fine. I trust her. She's a good girl. She listens, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but we don't know where she is. We don't know what she's looking up online. So now I know if she's looking at a like a particular thing on Lululemon because my phone like alerts me that she's done a Google search.
Really? You
And
have what a
oh
good
yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
need that in my life. I'm so bad
She's
at
a
that.
helicopter auntie,
I'm
and
like-
she says, like, I have to lie to her and be like lie to her about, oh, she took the bus to her friend's house after school, like stuff that I'm like, well, I shouldn't have to. You're not her mom. I shouldn't have to lie to you. I shouldn't be
Well,
her
and I'm like,
accomplice.
But why are we just asking to get the children kidnapped? Like, what is happening here? We don't put them on the city bus. That is absolutely crazy. And Jamie's like, all her friends are doing it. That's how they get home from school. I'm like, oh my God, this is unbearable.
I will just say, in the city we live in, the city bus is the school bus.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Okay.
So
how they get
so
home.
excited we didn't have tracking devices when I was a kid because I wasn't the best kid.
Man.
And
Poor
speaking of telling on sisters, I have an older sister who's now my best friend, of course. But on our podcast every week, Keith and Glory, We're Not Sorry, I read my grade 5 diary from 1988.
This is the highlight.
I thought because I would look for a good sister one because of our sister kind of themed episode. So this was on July 3rd, 1988. I have tagged my diary as Bob.
He named his diary as Bob, this one. And actually his next one is called Slade. So he names them all. Yeah.
And my sign off, because we're moving into the summer here, is Milano. Because I played it previous. Everybody go listen to our episodes. But I named myself. I needed a code name, so I named myself after teenage sex symbol Alyssa Milano.
Makes perfect sense.
So when I say Milano at the end, so July 3rd, 1988. Dear Bob, I'm so mad. I was trying to listen to my new favorite song, Naughty Girls Need Love Too by Samantha Fox. One, I'm in grade 5.
I don't even know what that song is. I'm going to have to listen to it.
Naughty Girls Need Love Too?
No, can you sing it?
Does anybody know that song?
No.
Oh.
No.
Do you guys know Samantha Fox?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm really old. Anyway, listen to it tonight. My sister's music was blaring, so I told, and she called me names, so I told again, and she lied to my parents. So here I am on a 90-degree Fahrenheit day in my room. I hate my sister and my mom. They're always on each other's sides. I hate them so much. Right now, my sister came in here and yelled at me. What a blank. Love Milano.
What did you really want to say in the blank?
I love it. Oh my God, I love it.
The sibling fights are the worst, right?
You know what I really particularly loved about it the most is that you told on her once, your mom was like, I don't care. And then you told on her a second time thinking like, this will solve it.
Yeah.
This should do it. And then, not that her music was too loud, but the fact that you were trapped in your room on a 90-degree day, like the unnecessary details of the diary.
Okay, you're picking up the vibe, JB. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Okay.
How long did you sign off as Milano after that one section? Like for the rest of the
rest of the year. I'm committed.
I'm sad that you didn't choose Slade. Like in one of your past episodes, you had Slade.
That's his grade 7th journal.
That's my grade 7 journal, which is like very rebellious.
Ladies, we have so much content here. We can go on for a few years. He's got books upon books.
I know. I thought of doing like a little stand-up act with my journals and stuff.
You should. Oh my God. I have a quick question for you guys. I have a couple actually.
Oh, good.
Okay.
That I would love to quickly ask. Okay. The one thing, when you're friends with somebody for like a really long time, and like Jamie and I laugh about this all the time, what is the one or multiple fashion choices that you allowed each other to make that you should have stopped in the moment or like been more honest about, and you just kind of like let the person do it with gritted teeth?
Where does Keith start?
Yeah, he's the real risk taker, shall we say, when it comes to fashion.
Right.
It always has been. One thing that I let her do, but I did point out when we were younger, she really loved makeup, worked at makeup stores and everything. And she put so much makeup on. From far away, I thought she was our Asian friend. Like she herself Asian with this makeup somehow.
He bugs me for like to this day. In my wedding speech, he had to bring it up. I mean, that's anything will let
I
it die.
love it.
But that's not really a fashion choice. I think all my outfits, the ones that I've really kind of pushed for, by the end of the night, we have a code name or a joke about it. Like, I don't know.
Well, you love a big brimmed hat that I
love a
don't
big brim.
understand.
To this
But
day,
like,
I still do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, let me say that
So this is my time of telling you. Just
the long corduroy Inspector Gadget.
Oh, and I
coat.
wish I still had it because I would wear it. It came back in style. You
It
know
did?
what? That was I think we used to call it Inspector
And
Jack.
what was mine for you, would you
Okay,
say?
well, I think all your teacher sweaters. I was like, you don't have to dress like a teacher because you're going to school.
Yeah,
You
true.
rocked a good cardigan or what? You
I-
felt you did the part?
I call it a partigan because it's like party in a cardigan. But
It's a cardigan.
I
It's
do
not
have
a
a lot of
cardigan in the
cardigans.
sense of those
They're
stretch.
perfect for like, you're getting ready for work and you put on a button-up shirt and you're like, a little tight. Let me throw a cardigan.
But in Keith's
those
closet,
love
he's
handles
got like
covered up.
good out, like going out clothes, and then he's got his teacher wardrobe. And I mean, I think I let you get away with a few meh fashion choices for school.
Okay, well, also I live in Canada, so we wear sweaters.
Yeah, exactly.
A good sweater.
Well, you
So
have
do
to
I.
in this place. It's freezing.
Anyway.
Like as soon as it starts to turn fall, I know all you girls are like, ooh, sweaters and boots. Like
I do love
now-
dressing for
Yeah.
fall.
For sure. Okay, if you guys were like a pop duo.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
I thought we were going to answer. I was about to write you on some of your
go,
questionable
go.
fashion choices.
Back
Fine.
to us.
Yeah. Jamie's like, I'm talking now. I want to talk about myself.
Dale went through a way too long of a phase where she only wore no fear t-shirts.
Ooh,
Do you remember those?
Like
yeah.
oversized
I remember
no fear
those.
t-shirts.
So weird.
And another thing that she did.
hypercolor shirts. Not sorry, Jamie.
Yes.
Remember those ones that like
Yes.
changed color?
Yeah, like
Yes.
back on
you'd get hot and it would be like just
And, like,
under the
your
pits and the
armpits
bright
would be, like,
purple.
a
Yeah.
different color,
Your back sweat.
right? What were we thinking? Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Dale also insisted on keeping her hair like in this ultra short bob, like just meeting her earlobes.
You guys might have known
Monica.
me then. Like they might have been in those times.
You didn't do that into college, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No, for sure.
You had a Karen cut in high school, just a little bob.
No words. I permed it. I used the perm.
Oh.
So like I
Karen
got
permed.
cool by straightening it.
Love it.
So all editors insert picture now.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
if you want to talk about haircuts, our mom was very like, what do you want to wear? How would you like to express yourself? So she let Jamie.
That's not true.
Yes, I was getting perms at 3, self-appointed. And Jamie's like said at one point, she goes, I want to get a buzz cut.
Likely story. I said I want to buzz my head, and then what's left, I just love to throw a perm in that bad boy. No, I didn't say that. I was fine.
when it grew out to mushroom cut levels, that's when you inserted the perm just to like jazz it up a little.
Okay.
The audience,
I had a perm back in the day too.
Our mom is a tomboy who likes like a wash and wear style.
Yes.
It wasn't me that chose it. It was her.
This is obviously childhood trauma. Jamie gets.
I pictured your mom as like fancier because you kind of described her in one episode when you were worried about her mental health because her pajamas were mismatched.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's got fancy elements.
Fancy lady, like in matching pajamas all the time.
And she's always wearing like an adorable outfit, but it's in her own kind of style. Like, yeah, she has like a tomboy way of dressing.
Since she was like in high school, she's had like a Kris Jenner kind of haircut. She's always had like a short, stylish, styled haircut because she doesn't like long hair and for herself. But she does like a matching outfit. We all appreciate a matching outfit.
Okay, I mean, he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, mostly our problems were hair. I mean, God,
I thought you were going to call me out on my sideways belt phase.
Well, yeah.
What's the sideways belt? Like on the hip?
Like where instead of doing your belt up in the front, you put the buckle off to the side.
Like there's a green skirt. Yeah,
very comfortable.
No, but you look cool.
Okay, noted.
With your low-rise jeans, you look super cool with your belt off to the side.
Oh, those low-rise jeans. Like I look at pictures now of people like Paris Hilton, obviously the icon of that. And like, God, those were really low, but a
Really
way
bad.
better style than the mom jeans that the kids were into for a while.
Oh, I like a high-waisted. Don't get me started.
Too.
Mhm.
Oh, so this is our like hour where we're talking about current fashion trends you wish we would stop doing, or what?
Yeah,
You're calling us
he's
out
like,
for our
I've been
mom
meaning to
jeans?
talk to all of you about a couple of things I've seen on Instagram. So
Yeah.
Okay, what else you got for us? Any other questions?
Jay, do you want to ask one, or do you want me to ask one?
I'll ask one next. You go first.
Oh, who was more dramatic growing up, and which of you had like main character energy, and which of you was kind of like the background character?
Good question. Keith, I'll let you go first.
I don't know. I wouldn't say either of us were backgrounds. Unfortunately, we were
I
probably
agree with that. I can't
We're
imagine.
both
competing
loud
for
and
main
obnoxious.
characters, screaming over top of each other.
Mhm.
What was the other question?
Who was more dramatic?
And I mean, I think we're both.
Keith, for sure.
Really?
He's my gay best friend. I mean, you are dramatic about everything. The bugs,
Yes.
the Botox, anything you're screaming about. You're dramatic.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dramatic in that way. Yes.
Right.
Just straight up admitting defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I can be dramatic most of the time.
Who is most likely to show up late?
No. Glory.
For
Who
sure.
last
Me.
to come on the podcast? I was like
Yeah.
sitting by myself for a while on Riverside. I'm like, feels like home.
Yeah.
I say many times the
minute late.
podcast should be called Waiting for Glory.
I'll be on in 10 and then it'll be an
Yeah.
hour later.
Who's
Anyway.
most likely to send a voice note over a text message?
I'm not a voice noter.
Me neither.
None of you guys are? Yeah.
No.
I think, is that a younger generation thing?
I must be.
Must be.
Yeah, because no, I don't. I've maybe sent one if I needed to say something like funny or like sing. You'll be lucky to get one. But yeah, no, I'm not a voice noter.
Right.
Okay.
How about you?
Who's
Okay, you guys
who's most likely to cry? Like who's more like emotional and like cries at commercials, or is the first one to like?
I don't cry at like commercials, but maybe like dog stuff. Like dog reunions or like stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't know if either one of us are big criers.
No.
Would you say? No, I don't think so. We're always laughing.
Yeah, we cry
There's
laughing.
time and a place for a good cry. But
Okay.
Hey, who would you say out of you and I?
yeah.
Is most likely to cry?
Yeah.
I would say you're more emotional for sure.
Oh wait, who's more
Really?
dramatic?
I'm more dramatic
Ooh,
for
Jamie.
sure. But my drama is often, like my first reaction is anger, not sadness.
Right.
I'm a psycho, essentially.
But I do think you cry. Like I think you cry more than I do. I really do. Anyways.
Anyways,
Depends how much rest we have, right, Jamie? I mean, if I'm
Exactly.
exhausted and
Totally.
things are going wrong.
absolutely.
Mhm. Okay, I feel like we should get into like the more serious part of the conversation if you guys are good with that. 'cause I know
Yeah,
we're a little
yeah.
bit
Let's
over
do
time.
it.
Yeah, I feel like we should talk about both of you. I would love to talk about your books. Like it's super inspirational. I've read both of your books, by the way.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
I
Yes.
love it. Two very, very different stories. And I don't know if you guys want to kind of give like the highlight of what they are and just the name of your books. And I like give a little shout out. I mean, both of them were very, very interesting. I think because also I know you both. So I even found it even that much more interesting, but they're both really well written and well done.
Thank you.
Great.
I can go first.
Yeah.
So my book is called Looking for Proof, Memoir of an Addict's Wife. So my husband is an alcoholic who is in recovery. And I wrote the book because I was like, when I was like in the throes of his addiction, I was like sitting alone by myself being like, God, like I can't even tell anybody what I'm going through because I was trying to keep it all together. And I was like, I would scour the internet and be like, what do you do when you think your husband's drinking? What do you do when you smell booze on his breath? What do you do when he's supposed to be sober, but he's not? Like all of these questions, and the internet's like not super helpful. And there was no like AI or anything back then. So it was a lot of like you know, like the odd blog post would have something, but it was very little resources. It was like, you know, go to your closest AA meeting. Well, I was nowhere near the stage of like walking into an AA meeting. I was like keeping my little secret. So I just wanted, in, you know, those moments of like despair when I was alone and feeling hopeless, like somebody to reach out and like give me something, any like sliver of hope, to be like, oh, I've been through it and it was totally, you know, it ended up being fine, or this is what I did, here's my 10-step guide. Like I was looking for anything on the internet and I just felt like there was really nothing. And so I was like, as soon as I like get through this, whatever that looks like, I am going to like throw down a ladder, because I feel like that wasn't available to me. And so I wrote my book, and it was like therapeutic, and I had been far enough removed from the like hurt feelings and like the despair that I felt like I was in a place where I could write about it and tell my story like honestly, because I wasn't guarded and I wasn't in pain or anything like that. My life had come through it and I was on the other side of it, and I was like really happy when I wrote my book. And I still am, like not like the full stop and then my whole life or anything like that. But I just felt like, you know, I was finally at a place where I could talk about it really honestly without having to like shelter bits and pieces of my story. And I also know that my book isn't something you like willingly bring on the train to work. Like you read my book in the dark. Like most people are reading my book, unless you're nosy, which I totally understand too. But most people are reading it because they're in like a really dark place. So they're the person who was me at 2 a.m. when their husband hasn't come home, scouring the internet, looking for some sliver of hope. And so I knew that my book wasn't going to be this book where it's like everybody's bragging that they just ordered it and they're, you know, talking about it, unless they're friends or family. I knew that people were going to be buying it kind of and stuffing it in their bag, shoving it down their purse, hiding the receipt from their loved ones, things like that. But I knew that in their darkest moments that I would be providing them some kind of like light. And so that was the whole like motivation on why I wrote my book. And really there wasn't much more to it than that. And at the same time that I decided I was going to write a book, my sister also decided that she was going to write a book. And we kind of made the decision together. I had gone to like a male and female mastermind group. And I came home and was like dead set on writing a book. I was like, I'm just going to do it. My sister's like, well, I'm going to do it too then. And so that's what we decided. Because for years we had talked about wanting to write a book and then never seriously pursued it. So that was the time. And then we just got after it. Dale, do you want to talk about your book?
I just want to, before we get on to Dale, I just want to say, I was also married to an alcoholic. And so reading your book, I really want to just commend you on your vulnerability of putting it all out there, because it's not easy. And I've been in that space where you just want to keep the lid on of this the home of perfection, and you want to save it for the kids. You want to do everything you can. I ended up going to the AA meetings with him, and I walked into the Al-Anon and burst into tears and walked out. So a lot of it really resonated with me. And so I think kudos to you for writing it. And I hope it does. I'm sure it's helped a lot of women. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I have 2 quick questions.
Yeah.
One, how many years sober now can we say Razor or your husband?
Do we still call him Razor?
It will be 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
And how did he feel about the story being out there?
Everybody is so curious about this. Like, he is pretty much an open book. He said, if this is going to help even one person, then it's worth it. So just go ahead and tell your story from your perspective. I was very mindful in writing it that I didn't put thoughts, words, and feelings into him and the role he played into it. It was all about me and how I felt in those moments. So I never said like, oh, I suspect his drinking stemmed from blah, blah, blah. I never say that in my book. I only talk about my perspective of things, and he has never read the book. And I've asked him a lot of times, like, do you think you'll ever read it? And he's like, no, it's your book. And I'm at peace with whatever it says is exactly what you felt in those moments. And I don't need to read it. So,
or probably want to go back there.
Yeah.
Or do we even know if he can read? Just kidding.
Oh, that was not cool. Okay, Dale, over to you.
So when Jamie came home from her mastermind, I will just say about Jamie's book that I actually think, like she was saying, people read it in the dark, but I do think Jamie's book is one of the most important books, like in the market. Like I think that it helps more people than the average book. And it's such an interesting thing when you do talk about something that can be controversial or can be too personal. People almost feel like they're like Keith does, like reading the diary, but getting all access to it. So
Yeah,
I
it was
think it's like
very
very
vulnerable
amazing.
and honest
Yeah.
and
I
turned inspirational. I thought it was
For
great.
sure.
I don't think
And
it's
so
in the
anyways,
dark book. I was going to say, Jamie, you think that, but I didn't. I actually found it a very interesting read, regardless of my history. So, yeah,
which
I
is great.
think it appeals to more people than you probably give yourself credit
Yes.
for.
Thank you.
So when Jamie got back from her mastermind, I was like, hey, if I don't do this now, I'm gonna never do it, and we need to hold each other accountable. So and the thing is, I'd been making notes on my phone for 10 years about like chapter ideas and things I would include and whatever. So we ended up working actually with the same publishing company, Gloria, that you
For
work with.
everybody who doesn't know what your book's about, give us like the
Yes.
quote.
So I had no idea how to do it. So thank God we found like our book coach and he helped. But my book, I have been in a wheelchair since I was 16, and I'm in a wheelchair as a result of a surgery that went wrong. So mistakes within the surgery and things like that. So I walked into the children's hospital and I never walked out. And so just the piecing your life back together parts that go on in the grief and the process that you have to go through. And I was 16. So like I had great parents, I had a great sister, but I
very
didn't have.
mature 16-year-old.
Yes. Well, yes and no. I was an asshole. And then you wake up mature because you all of a sudden have adult problems.
Mhm.
Whenever I talk about health, I always say like, it feels like our lives have lots of problems until us or one of our loved ones has a health problem. And then you only actually have one problem. And none of the other problems like scheduling and busy careers and whatever, they all just kind of go away. And you're like, okay, well, this is my only problem and I have to focus on this. And that's exactly what I did. And I did it very intentionally. So my book talks about everything from, me needing to like lose a whole bunch of weight because once I was in a wheelchair at 16, I didn't know how to eat properly. I didn't know how, with my new limited ability to burn those calories, I was still eating like a kid. So I put on weight and I did not want to stay there. And it was like vanity reasons because I'm vain, but it was also because my mobility would have progressively gotten way worse had I not tackled that. And then the next thing I wanted to tackle was like, how am I going to make money? Like, how do I make a career and make the life that I dream of if I'm like confined to a wheelchair, if I can't go get experience, and I wanted to be an interior designer. So that's a very like unlikely, hard to do job when it's quite physical and you have to get into people's homes that has stairs. So it was just one of those like things that everybody around me was like, oh, we want that for you, but you can't. And so I just like slowly figured out like, no, I want to, and I'll work with people and I'll figure it out and I'll explain my limitations or they'll explain themselves and I'll make my own way. And so I had all of these things that I called yeah buts. They were like my limiting beliefs and they all stemmed from my very good excuse that now I'm in a wheelchair, so I'm not capable of doing any of the things. And truthfully, what I was scared of was the vulnerability it took to do those things and potentially fail. So I had all these yeah but stories, and the yeah but stories were basically all my limiting beliefs. And once I kind of conquered one, then I was like, okay, I'm making a living for myself. Like, whoa, this is crazy. And then the next thing I was like, you know what? I'm going to tackle my health. Let's deal with that. And then the next thing I decided, I was like, okay, I'm going to start dating. And like dating,
How
when
was
you've like
that?
not really
No.
dated anybody because you were 16
Right.
when all this happened, right in the middle of when that starts, it was wild and crazy. Like it was people think I'm crazy, but I loved date. I thought it was like, I love socializing. I love meeting new people. So like I did some vetting. Like, and I heard Keith talk about this in another episode where you don't just go on the date. You have the phone call, we
the
didn't have FaceTime
FaceTime.
then, but like you did some of the pre stuff so that you weren't on a date with the crazy. Like I wasn't really ready to get my body found in the river because I couldn't defend myself. And I felt like it was very dangerous for me to go on these blind dates completely blind. So, but I would have an idea of who the guy was and he would know I'm in a wheelchair before we went on a date, so you wouldn't think he'd show up if it was a problem for him. And so the men that I met were like pretty wonderful. And like in some ways they not wonderful, and they weren't the men I was supposed to marry. But Jamie's making mean faces, but they weren't like monsters or anything.
Right.
So, you know, it was one of those things where it was the ultimate test in vulnerability, like going out on dates and getting rejected on the most personal level, which is love and who you are. And just as a core person, it's even harder than being rejected on like a career level or, you know, something that's like not as tied to like your heart. So I just write really openly about all of that. Each guy that I had like serious relationships with and what went on and all the things. So,
and you've met your Prince Charming. Oh, I was just going to say, because I see all your cute posts about marrying your best friend and all those things. So
yes.
I
love him so much. He's so good. And like,
that was the last time I saw you. I saw you at Globefish Chinook. And you were with him, and I was with an ex of mine.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
I remember it now. But so as a very mature 16-year-old making decisions, you kind of came to the title of your book, which I loved.
Yes. So mine was like, my ultimate goal in my life is to be happy. I mean, I love money. I love travel. I love people. I love family. But really, when I like settle into what I actually want, I want happiness. So what I never considered during all of my but negative statements was, but what if you were happy? And so what I'm like challenge people to think about in my book while they're reading it is, what if everything worked out the way you wanted it to? And we named our podcast Proof It's Possible because we feel like both Jamie and I have like overcome weird and totally different hard things, but we both proved that you can have a healthy, happy marriage after addiction. Not everybody can. It doesn't work out like that for everybody, but Jamie and Ray both chose to do the work, you know, and I chose to do the internal work required to get the life I want and have the career I want and, you know, do all the things that I care about.
Yeah.
So
I love that. And I love the but like, that's such a great little
Well, you
thing.
catch yourself saying it. You're like, I'd love to do that. But I don't have time. Or but I can't, you know, and you'll catch yourself as you like, after you read my book, people are writing me. They're like, I said, but 20 times today.
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah.
So, Lori, I want to hear about your book though. And what spot, like,
okay, it's still in the works. And I think you were saying we are all using the same book company, which is amazing. And you two recommended them to me, and they've been nothing but fantastic so far.
If any of the listeners are curious, send us a DM, and we're happy to make an intro. We're happy to make an intro for you because he's amazing.
Nothing but fantastic. So it's done. I'm in editing phase, so I'm halfway through. So my book is totally different. It's a memoir. So it's about my rise from literally a scaffold laborer in Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada. It's my career journey. So it gives listeners, and it's personal. I talk a bit about relationships. I talk about my divorce. So it's kind of, and in each chapter I give a few kind of like key takeaways for women to sort of, my avatar is women who are sort of stuck in their careers or mid-range or single moms or working moms or, you know, women who are just trying to make it to the next level. And so I give some kind of anecdotes and tips and tricks to try and progress your career in a powerful, meaningful way. The brand is, I'm really big on, I think said it earlier, authenticity. And I think that was super, super helpful within my journey is once I became my authentic self, my career really took off in a male dominated space, which you wouldn't think that would happen. So really excited. It's going to come out in the middle of summer. It's called In Pursuit of Glory, and my name is Glory. So I'm really happy with the title.
I love the book title. And I will say, as somebody who was in a very similar industry, the same industry, I did over the years look at you and be like, what is she doing that I'm not doing? Like, how has Glory managed to like excel like quickly and so admirably in her career? Like, I was always just in awe of where you were and what you were doing in your career. So I do think this is like a fascinating story. I cannot wait to read it because I'm like, I didn't get all the details I needed. So I do need to read the book. I hope so. That's so exciting, and I'm so proud of you. That's amazing. How do we get Keith joining in on the book club here?
Yeah.
Well, I think the last book I wrote was Bob, my grade 5 diary.
He shares a book every week, you guys. He has a book.
Tune into Keith and Glory. You get snippets of Keith's journal every Tuesday.
No,
I love it.
I mean, I know Glory's story and I've had sneak peek. I've read your books. And just to know you personally and see 3 inspirational women putting their stories out there, all for different reasoning, And I think, you guys should sell your book as a trilogy, finding that woman in a bad relationship who has to overcome something, I don't know. I think the world's going to be a better place with women reading your books and men.
Thank you.
The future is female, Keith. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. As long as you keep around the gays, the theys, and anyone who slays.
We will. Anyway, yeah, that's amazing. And you guys inspired me also. I mean, a lot of advice from you guys, and I appreciate, all the insight into the book publisher. And I don't know. Yeah, I think it's amazing what you've done. And I was like you, I've been thinking about writing a book for like 10 years. I always have said, I should write a book. Some of the stories up in Fort McMurray are a book in themselves. So I get kind of gritty into some of that. That's where we start. But yeah, it's been a ride.
Amazing.
One thing I think that is really interesting to note is that we were noting the similarities between Glory and I, and then the similarities between Dale and Keith. Totally. And I do think that it's really interesting that you guys are similar in a lot of ways, but one way that I think is exceptional is that you both exude happiness. And I don't know that people would necessarily say that about Glory and I. They would be like, oh, we're nice, they're this, they're that, they're whatever. But I think that the aura of true, you're just exuding happiness, and everywhere you go, you lighten the mood. I think is something that's pretty specific to the two of you. So the fact that you guys are similar in all cases,
we combine our powers, the joy we can bring to the world.
We might start going for drinks every Thursday and laugh until we pee in our pants. I don't know.
I mean, we're going to, Dale.
You know what I think about you, Jamie and Glory, that's so much alike? You guys have such boss energy. We were at a women's event that talked all about just energy. And it was how you show up to a meeting. And it's why the both of you have very strong careers in male dominated industries, because you've had to learn to be strong. Whereas me and Keith would just walk in and be like, hi, how's it going? More jokes, more fun. Can we lighten this place up? Under your time.
Yeah, I like to look at life through rose-colored glasses.
Me too. Me too. I love it.
I don't even like to watch bad, horror shows or CSI, people dying. And I'm give me rich ladies fighting any day of the week.
Housewives of Anywhere.
I always say if someone could look at my Netflix account, they'd think I was a serial killer because I'm obsessed with all the crime stories.
If it's not a crime documentary, I don't want it.
Right. I think I might have found a new podcast co-host.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thanks. It's been nice knowing you, Jamie and Glory.
Crossover turned into one of those scandalous partner co-ops in the neighborhood,
Exactly.
New cover art this afternoon.
Well, we're right on time here. This was such so much fun, more fun than I expected it to be. Lots of fun. It was so great to connect with you guys again.
Yes.
And for our first crossover collab podcast.
Yes, I love it. I feel so honored to be your first guests.
Yeah,
really?
That's cool.
Well, we're honored you're here.
Well, that's it for today. And we're just so appreciative. And listen to Keith and Glory, We're Not Sorry. And
The Proof is Possible.
Is that the name of our podcast?
Yes.
No, yeah. Okay. I'm looking. I'm did I just say it wrong? The way you looked at me. Proof is possible.
Guys, I'm sleep deprived. Okay.
You're pretty. That's all that matters.
Well, cut that, Eddie. Cut that, Eddie. Should we do the exit again? Let's do it.
We're keeping it in. I love it.
No, this is authenticity at its finest.
Okay.
Exactly. Right, we're just living our authentic life. Okay, so Dale, do you have to run and pick up your kid?
Yeah, I gotta go. It's been fun, guys.
Thanks, Jamie.
We are so grateful you're here.
It would mean the world to us if you'll subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel and leave us a review.
If you want to hear more from us, go to proofitspossible.com to join our mailing list and find our social links so you don't miss a thing.
Thanks, and chat next time.